Hello, today I'm coming to you from 210 East 63rd. This is a studio apartment for rent in a elevator with laundry and live-in super building for $3,500 a month. In New York City, the co-op board application is a personal and financial report that gives a profile of a buyer to the co-op board. This application helps the co-op determine whether or not they are going to approve the buyer, which is why it is very important to get it right and do it well. Here are some tips on how to make a flawless New York City co-op board package. Every application for each building is going to be different with their requirements. A lot of them will ask for a lot of the same similar items. It's usually a standard application form and supporting documents and writers that go along with that. My first tip is that when completing the purchase application portion of the application, it should first be typed and complete as possible. That means not leaving out any blanks. Where things are not applicable, you can write not applicable, but everything must be completed on the purchase application. Pro tip is the assembly of the application. You want it to be a very easy document to go through. Now, in this day and age, a lot of management companies have turned over to a digital format, and it's automatically indexed for you. Some examples of this are Board Packager, and some management companies have their own online platforms to fill out these applications. However, there are applications that management companies request to be submitted in its original form. And that would be a paper application. So that can be anywhere from 10 pages to hundreds of pages of documents. So it's very important when you are doing a printed application to have divider pages. Usually we do them in different colors so that it's easy for someone to go into the application and find exactly what it is they're looking for in its placeholder. And here is the most important tip and advice I have for you, and the most important part of the co-op application, which is the financial statement. Every application will have a financial statement in some way, shape, or form. This is going to outline a buyer's income, assets, and debt. The main thing that co-ops want to see is that the income debt to ratio does not exceed anywhere from 30%, around give or take, and that there is post-liquid closing assets left over after the sale. And that can range anywhere from 1 to 2 years. And some co-ops have even higher standards. But this is the reason that the financial statement is the most important part of the application. Now, when filling out these numbers, you want these numbers to reflect the exact amounts that you have in your supporting statements. So if you are putting cash in your bank, that's in your bank account, you want to put the exact balance that's in your statement balance that you have given the board. And that goes for every single figure in that statement. The next most important part of your application is going to be your letters of recommendation. If you know people who own or live in co-ops already, those are the type of people that you want to write you letters. They usually will ask for business and personal. So if you have work colleagues, those are great people to ask. Again, friends that own property or are homeowners are ideal, but usually the longer the relationship and the better they have things to say about how you are as a person, in your community or your building where you currently are, those are going to be the best letters of recommendation for you. You cannot, under any circumstances, ask for recommendation letters from your family. So that is something to keep in mind. And also very important is that each of the letters is signed and dated with an address and phone number of the reference. Another letter that is very helpful to add to the application is an introduction letter about you yourself as the buyer. In the introduction letter, you summarize who you are and what they can expect to see in the application. If there are any specific financial nuances of your application, you should also mention it in the introduction letter so that if there is anything that may be questionable, the board has a little summary and background on what to expect. And this way, when they see it in the application, they know what you're referring to. For example, let's say the buyer has not much of a big income, but they're receiving a gift from their parents that would help bring down the monthlies significantly. Although this is something that you will be able to see in the financial statement, it's good for you to explain to the board that that's what they're going to expect, because you don't ever want them to sit there and question what's going on. And there you have it. Those are my top tips for making an exceptional board package. If you need any help in the buying process or selling process or any real estate questions, feel free to reach out. As always, I'm here to help.